course, it wouldn't be the Guitar World DVD without a little Jingle Bell Rock, that song made famous by Bobby Helms and Unita Kerr singers. I'll show you a somewhat streamlined arrangement of the song, and also show you a couple of the licks played in the beginning and the outro of the song. Here's the song's signature intro lick. It's played rather high up on the neck, so if your guitar doesn't have a cutaway, I can show you a way to play it an octave lower. But here's the original way. As I mentioned, if your guitar doesn't have a cutaway and you're having trouble hitting those high notes, you can play pretty much the same thing 12 frets lower, with a little exception on the second half of the phrase. That would go like this. While we're at it, let me show you the ending lick of the song. It's similar to the beginning lick, but it's phrased a little bit differently, and the position shift is a little tricky because it happens quickly. So I'll play it a little slower. Before we get into the main part of the song, one more thing I want to show you are those little lead chords that everybody wants to know. The first chord is D6, and it happens during the first part of the verse. Okay, so that's... The second one is an A9, or A add 9. That occurs over the A7 chord. Okay, here's the main part of the song, the meat and potatoes of the accompaniment. So the form goes through the song once, and then it repeats the second half, and then comes back in on the bridge. And there's that little tag at the end where that's kind of my simplified ending. The recording features that lead part. So if you have a second guitarist that can play that, that's great. If not, just do it the way I showed you with the simple. All the chord shapes are pretty straightforward here. There's a couple unusual shapes. It may be unfamiliar to you. One is the D sharp diminished seventh. It's pretty easy to form though. It goes from D sharp diminished seventh to E minor to A7. The other one is a G sharp diminished seventh, and that occurs on the bridge. That one requires that you mute the A string with the underside of your middle finger here, so you can strum it, and then just get these other fretted notes. The the index finger barring across the D, G, and B strings at the 3rd fret. That high E string is not used in this chord, so it's, and then it goes back to D. The only other unusual chord is this A7 sharp 5, or A7 augmented, and that occurs in the beginning. So that's a pretty easy grip. It's just once you get used to it and your fingers get to recognize it, you can fall into it quickly. Here's a nice little duet arrangement. It's in the key of D.